Honestly, when the hot seaweed wasn't there yet.
Hello and welcome to Your Dad Learns StarCraft 2 Ladder. This is the very first episode of the series, and this is also my very first game against another person in StarCraft 2. So this is my placement match. Before this, I've played against the AI to see how far I could get there, and decided to jump in and start ranked against other people. Every game in this series is going to be a ranked game on the ladder. So here we are starting out. And in the upper right hand corner, it's your hero, your champion, your dad. And on the other side of the map, see if we can get to him, in the lower left hand corner, is Holy Devil, my first opponent, my opponent of the hour. So right now, we're both starting out pretty standard, making drones, making overlords. And my plan this game, and the thing I've been kind of practicing at this point, is just trying to saturate my base, which means getting the optimal amount of 16 out of 16 workers on these minerals, and then take one of these drones, send them down, make an expansion, so I can start building a bigger and better economy. And my opponent is doing the same thing, except they are sending their worker over here. This is a decision I don't like. I would do it myself. There are rare occasions where you do want to go to an odd spot, but that's usually if you're being pressured or if you think the opponent is doing something particularly sneaky to you, and there are no signs of that happening. Not that we would know, because neither of us is actually scouting right now. We just have overlords sitting around. I believe mine are just patrolling these areas. Yeah, they're just floating in a box there. So both of us are doing this blind. Reason I don't like where they put theirs is because if you go with mine, it's easier to defend, it's easier to make workers from both of your hatcheries and get the workers there and get your base saturated and mining more, essentially more money for you faster. This base can't do that. You have to pretty much saturate it by itself off its own larva, which means it takes longer for that to get making the optimal amount of money, and it's harder to defend because it's further away from your other base. So I've also made a spawning pool, and we're both making queens. You can see their hatchery also just finished because they had to walk so far just to start it. So I'm making some zerglings, queen for each base. This queen just came up, so it should start injecting the base soon. It should start injecting the base. You know what, queen, you do you. You just hang out. There you go. And here's some zerglings. There's actually just my view what I can see. So I've got some zerglings here, got some queens. I'm still making drones, making a lair, which allows me to get more high-tech units. And in the spawning pool, I'm researching speed. That just makes my zerglings run a lot faster, which is really nice. It allows them to do a lot more things that way, it makes them a lot more dangerous. I also have a zergling that's been sitting over here. It's because eventually, sometime, I'm going to send this over to their base and try to scout and see what they're doing, see what they're building, see what Holy Devil has. And Holy Devil is making attack upgrades for their zergling. They're not working on speed. So my speed's almost done, so I'm going in. I take one hit from a spine crawler, which almost kills the zergling but doesn't. And now, this is actually my camera. I'm just watching it and moving it myself. So since I didn't see anything here, I don't know about this base. I'm pretty sure they're on one base. Those are just hanging out, just being drones, sitting around doing nothing. And since they're on one base, I don't feel too pressured. I'm making Roach Warren, I'm making a Hydralisk Den. I don't know why I'm making them at the same time. Since I made my roach warren so late, or my hydralisk den so early, I could have just made one of them. Because I'm going to go hydras. At this point in my StarCraft journey, I wouldn't be going roaches as well. And I'm making evolution chambers so that I can make upgrades for my hydralisks for my units. I'm also building some defensive structures. There's a detector which can see invisible units. It can fire at air. These are attack ground units. And I'm going to send a little hit squad of Zerglings. I checked the other base spot. I don't see anything there. So right now, this base is hidden for him, or her, but it still only has 3 drones on it. They're not really doing much with it. So, I just run past the static and start attacking the worker line. Start damaging their ability to make minions. Or not minions, but make more creatures to get more money. And I noticed they have a hydralisk den, they have a chamber, they have an infestation pit, and they have a lair. So, I'm still pretty convinced that they're on one base. They have 2 gas. I haven't seen any actual units, I've just seen these. So, I feel comfortable because I'm not getting attacked by anything. You can see these are made, but I'm not making upgrades yet. I am upgrading my hydralisks, and I'm making some of them. And I'm trying to keep injecting my bases, which both are injected right now. And queens don't have a ton of energy. They could have another inject on there. I missed one at some point, 1 or 2, but overall for a first game, not too bad. And I'm making a Spire. So Spire make flying units. Why am I making a Spire? And 30 Zerglings. Well, I'm making 30 Zerglings because I have a whole lot of money and I'm just trying to use it. Zerglings take 50 minerals, so I'm just trying to use those minerals. I could be making a macro hatchery, which is a base inside of my base to get me more larvae. I could make an expansion. I could be doing a lot of things to get more larvae, which would let me spend more money. I'm not doing any of those right now. Oh, I am. I'm building a 7-minute third hatch. It's kind of late for an expansion, but that's alright. So back to the Spire. I'm making this because I saw these, which only attack ground, and it kind of derailed me from my original plan of making a bunch of hydras and zerglings, which right now, this army could take that out easily. I just don't realize it at this point. So I get the thought in my head, if he's gonna make a lot of spine crawlers, I'll make air units. So I'm making upgrades for air, for missile and ground attacks and armor. This is air attack. And my Hydros will be able to attack farther. And they're actually making mutalisks also, and I'm making mutalisks. They're making drones, making queens, they're getting some upgrades. But at this point, they don't have a lot of money. I have a whole lot. A lot of this probably has to do with they haven't really saturated their second base. They haven't been paying attention to it. I made a second base that's hard to ignore, because it's right near my first one. If I'm just looking around, I'm going to see it. So I have a Zergling squad over here, because at some point I want to try to run by and check the bases and attack. I don't know how long they're going to sit here, probably for a while. I should have been paying more attention to them. But you know, there's things to work on. So I've got a few mutalisks out, and this is actually my camera view right now. And we can actually speed up a little bit. I think for the most part we're just going to be building up right now. Just playing SimCity and building up our units, building up our bases. Usually a game doesn't go this passive. It's been 9 minutes, we've barely looked at each other. I did one Zergling run by. It's also been 9 minutes and I've just broke the 100 supply cap. Or not cap, but amount. They're at 58. We are not producing anywhere near efficiently. But these things will happen. I've still got this ball of Zerglings over a minute later up in the corner, working on attack upgrades, working on a hive, working on drones. My opponent is making upgrades. They're working on a hive, a lurker den. None of us are attacking still. And finally I'm moving out. There's my Mutalisks flying around. And they will actually find this hidden base. And now they're just going to start killing it. And this base also made a whole lot of overlords, which just happened to come out. And I'm going to kill all of these overlords, kill this base. And if you see their supply amount, which is the amount of units they can make in total over here, and the amount they have over here, it's now dropped below what they have. So, as of this point in the game, they cannot make any more units. They can't use their larvae. They can only make overlords so they can try to get more supply. So that's not good for them. They have these hidden in the ground. They haven't used them yet. I don't know why. Maybe they forgot that they had them. I don't see that drone they snuck over there. So I have no idea that's going on. And I'm just getting ready to actually attack at some point. I can't see these creep tumors with my vision. So they still can't build anything. And they actually made air attack there, or air defense there. So I lose a Mutalisk, lose 2 of them, and then realize, hey, you can just fly around that corner. And that's pretty good. So I fly around, make their queens come out if they want to fight me, and just start killing them, throw all the Zerglings in, and these Zerglings quickly surround and destroy these. Which, there you go, which I could have done a long time ago. Here come those hidden Zerglings that they had. A little late to the party, but there's some hidden Hydralisks. Like I said, a little late, but that's alright. They just made a bunch of overlords, so they can start making units again. But at this point, their base has been wrecked. We both have insane amounts of money because we haven't been spending it effectively. They still haven't started making a base with this drone, it's just hanging out. Overlords ran over there. So now I'm making 13 more Mutalisks. I'm upgrading attacks, armors, all sorts of stuff. They're doing an upgrade, finally making that hatchery up there. And at this point, you may realize my plan of making Hydras and attacking was half completed. I made some Hydras. I certainly did. Got 17 of them. They're not attacking though. And I've got these 14 Mutalisks hanging out, also not attacking. So, here are the Mutalisks I have. They're fighting. Haven't called in the reinforcements yet. Just... all I can say is the first game just didn't remember it. Not paying enough attention. Start destroying that static. And honestly now it's just... we'll speed it up. It's just finishing out the cycle. And from my viewpoint, this is what I'm looking at. I'm just... even though nothing can hit these Mutalisks, I'm just watching them do their thing. And hey, just sent out some Zerglings over there. They're actually, why they all spread out, is because I'm checking every location for expansions. I found one over there. So I've had units there, but they're only overlords, so they're not going to do anything. And I'm sending stuff to the second base. Still haven't moved these Hydralisks. They haven't moved an inch. They're just chilling. And they're just finishing out the fight. And this will be my first placement game. So, not too bad. I'm not sure if all first games kind of go like that, where both players, we are both unranked. So I'm pretty sure we're both pretty new to the experience. Probably haven't played a lot of matches. And right now, we're both just playing super defensive. Like, super timid. I played less timid than the opponent. I had a scout go through, I sent one little group of Zerglings in, and I expanded. Well, we both expanded at the same time. I made a third base, which they never did until they made their one at the very end. So I expanded faster. I paid attention to my second base, so mine actually got fully saturated. Theirs did not. Right now it's oversaturated, and this has at this point run out of minerals, so oops, I could have been using these workers to go maybe to this base or to make another base. But the last couple minutes of the game, I wasn't really doing much besides watching myself kill their buildings. So yeah, both super timid. I just happen to be slightly more aggressive, even though there are definitely tons of things to improve on in this game. Still got a bunch of money, could use it more efficiently, but that's the first placement game. That's a win, that's in the books. So all in all, a good way to start out. If it was having a really efficient defeat versus a really awkward and clumsy victory, I'll take this awkward, clumsy victory over an efficient defeat anytime. So that's it. First game, a win. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you have any ideas, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. And until then, I've been your dad. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.